Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cara Fiano and I'm a local real estate broker in the Asheville region with Mackey Realty. Today's video is my housing market update video, and this one is going to be back to the old style like I used to film on my camera. If you watch the past 2 months of housing market update videos, you'll know that I did a screen sharing style where I would basically film on my computer and show you different charts and things like that on my computer, but the quality wasn't up to my standards, so I figured I would go back to filming on my camera. Let me know if you guys like this style. I also quickly want to talk about a little discrepancy that occurred in my last video where the numbers that I was sharing on a local level were month over month as opposed to year over year, and I feel like it was a little bit misleading telling you that certain counties were in buyers markets when really that was more on a month over month basis. So I'm going to go back to the basically rolling 12-month average. I feel like that's a better statistic to look at and it's less deceiving. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's start out first with price on a national level. The median sale price is currently $435,000, and this is a 2% increase year over year. So a few years ago, we were seeing home prices appreciate by honestly double digits year over year. So seeing only 2% is a significant decrease from what we saw previously. However, it is still a little bit of an increase. I would consider this as basically market stabilization. In terms of prices on a local level, the average sale price in the Asheville region is currently $541,000, which is a 2.3% increase year over year. The median sale price is $431,500, and this is a 2.7% increase year over year. So I would say locally and nationally, prices are tending to stabilize and they're pretty much doing similar things. I know that you appreciate when I share countywide data, so let's look at median sale prices for single family homes. In Buncombe County, this number is $515,000, which is a 3.2% increase year over year. Henderson County, interestingly enough, had a completely neutral change year over year and is currently at $465,000. Haywood County had an increase of 5.3% and is currently $400,000. And Madison County increased by 2.8% to $434,000. As you can see with this data, Buncombe County tends to be the priciest, with Henderson County being in second place. Let's dive now into inventory on a national level. Inventory of homes for sale increased by almost 25% year over year. This is the 21st consecutive month of inventory increases. However, it is still 13.4% below pre-pandemic levels. Month supply of inventory is currently 4.7 nationally, which is a 17% increase year over year, though still not to pre-pandemic levels. The national real estate market is still generally in a seller's market. From what I've noticed, the Northeast tends to be leading this, and the Northeast tends to be in a seller's market, whereas some other markets like the Southeast are tending towards a buyer's market. Interestingly, homes spent a median of 58 days on the market, which is more than we saw pre-pandemic. Inventory in the Asheville region is up by 56.1% and is now in line with pre-pandemic levels. For the longest time, inventory was the biggest issue with the housing market, where buyers were eager to buy homes, but there just wasn't anything out there. Now inventory is increasing, but now there aren't as many buyers. This is largely due to economic factors and the fact that interest rates haven't really come down a whole lot this year, and affordability consequently is still quite low. Month supply of inventory in this region is currently 6.4, meaning we are officially in a neutral market in WNC. Let's take a look at this on a countywide level for single family homes. Month supply of inventory in Buncombe County is now 4.2, so still in a seller's market. Henderson County is 4.1, again, still a seller's market. Haywood County is 5.1, still a seller's market, but approaching a neutral market. And Madison County is 6.6, which is officially a neutral market, or according to some people, that might be considered a buyer's market. Based on this data, Madison County is the only one that is in a neutral or buyer's market. Now remember, this is based on the 12-month rolling average for single-family homes. Now, if I were to include condos and townhomes, every county except for Buncombe County would actually also be in a neutral or buyer's market. Now, I know I love to focus a lot on this month supply of inventory number, but I do want to say don't obsess over it too much. Don't necessarily wait until it's 6 or 7 in the county that you want to purchase a home in. If you are currently able to purchase a property, able to get pre-approved, or you have the cash to buy a home, I wouldn't wait for that number to basically state it's officially a buyer's market. Now is actually quite a good time to buy. I'm seeing more and more sellers be negotiable on purchase price and seller concessions. I mentioned this in videos in the past, but if interest rates are one of those things that's really holding you back because it's making your monthly payment just a bit out of reach, it's a good idea that if you want to place an offer on a property, asking for seller concessions and using that money to buy down your interest rate. That's a little trick that can help lower your monthly payment significantly, and it's actually better than asking for a purchase price reduction. If you want to talk more about the details on that, I'm happy to do that with you. I'll leave my contact info here on the screen and also in the description box. So even though statistically not every county here is in a buyer's market, sellers are certainly a lot more open to negotiation than they used to be. If we take a look at interest rates, they have been hovering around 6.8% for most of this year, but they did actually drop to an average of 6.57% roughly. And it's expected that hopefully at some point next year, interest rates will drop to around 6%, maybe a little bit lower ideally. However, this year it doesn't seem like they'll budge a whole lot. The number of home sales is very low at the moment, and NAR is predicting that if interest rates do get to 6% next year, that the number of home sales could increase by 14%. This is a pretty big amount and could spur more competition. You may be familiar with the lock-in effect. This is where a homeowner would otherwise sell their property, but they feel locked into their current interest rate. It might be in the 2s, 3s, 4s, etc. And if they were to sell that property, they would give up that low interest rate, move into another home with a 6% plus interest rate, which would increase their monthly payment significantly. And in a lot of cases, homeowners can't afford that big jump, even with the increase in equity that their home likely has. Currently, the majority of homeowners have interest rates between 3 and 4%. 53.4% of homeowners have interest rates below 4%. Almost 3/4, or 71.3% of homeowners have interest rates below 5%. It is naturally expected that homeowners with interest rates below 6% will start to decline as people become more comfortable with the current interest rates. These statistics really drive home the fact that there are likely a lot of homeowners out there who are experiencing the lock-in effect. I've found that both buyers and sellers seem to be in a holding pattern right now. Sellers don't want to give up their low interest rates, and buyers are waiting for interest rates to come down. Basically, everyone who is interested in real estate is waiting on interest rates to drop. So what does that tell you if you are a prospective buyer or seller? Well, it means that if you are currently able to purchase a property, if you were to do so now, you would get into the market before a lot of competition starts to pile in. Once interest rates do start to drop to a more comfortable level, I think we'll see a lot of buyers come into the market and sellers as well. Okay, that's enough talk about mortgage news. Let's talk about some local news. The Marquee was a really popular artist studio in the River Arts District, and it got severely damaged by Hurricane Helene. I did highlight it in a couple videos recently, both my long form video showing you what Asheville is like now about 9 months after Helene, and I also highlighted it in a short video. If you haven't seen those, I'll link them up here. However, good news about the Marquee, they are expected to reopen September 25th. They have made a lot of progress and are almost to opening day. Zillicoa Brewing is another local company that got wiped out by Helene and is actually reopening today as I'm filming this, which is August 21st. Another local business that recently reopened is Riverwatch Grill in Chimney Rock. I know that might be surprising to you, as Chimney Rock got hit extremely hard by the hurricane and a lot of the town was wiped out. They were certainly impacted, however, they have officially reopened, which I think is great. And I mentioned in a prior video that Chimney Rock State Park is also open on a reservation basis. In terms of some other news of what's going on down in the Lake Lure area, the Flowering Bridge was recently taken down. It was deemed to be irreparable because of structural damage. However, they are going to be building something else in its place. Well, that wraps up this month's housing market update video. However, I do have a quick question for you guys, and I would really love your response in the comments down below. I'm currently planning out next month's videos, and I'll continue to do my monthly housing market update videos, but you may have noticed I haven't done as many vlog style videos. I'm not really sure if you guys still want to see those types of videos. I feel like my life is pretty uninteresting, especially with the real estate market being a bit slower this year, or a lot slower this year. I'm not really sure if you would be interested in vlog style videos, and if so, let me know what you would like to see. I just put this poll up on Instagram a bit earlier this morning, and so far people are saying they do miss my vlogs. So if you would like to see those again, then leave me a comment down below and let me know, and I'll be sure to film some more. But let me know what type of content you want to see, because I feel like I've forgotten how to do vlogs at this point, but I'll be curious to hear your response. So that's everything for today's video. If you would like a copy of my free home buyer guide, or if you would like a free comparative market analysis done on your property, feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my contact info here on the screen as well as in the description box below. I'm always happy to answer any questions and help in any way that I can. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I will see you very soon in the next one.